Yo, 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 what's up? I should be live. All right, so while I'm setting this up, I'll kind of tell you what I'm doing. Hopefully, you guys are getting this notification. So, I'm doing the 12 days of Christmas, kind of a spin on it, a car audio spin. I'm going to try to live stream every day leading up into Christmas. So, Christmas Eve will be my last live stream. These will be shorter streams, and it just kind of be like a vlog style. We'll talk about, whatever I'm doing for the day. So, right now, I'm going to try to share my video to Facebook. So, excuse me for just a second if I don't see you. Oh, okay. We already got some folks in here. Franco, Geo, David, DIY, audio guy. What's going on? All right, give me a second while I share this stuff right now. Hopefully, I could do it without. Got myself. So, what you guys doing? What you up to tonight? Sorry, I gotta log into Facebook here and share this, and then we could talk about some topics. If you guys got any topics you want to talk about car audio related, drop them in the chat, and I'll kind of discuss them as I talk about what I'm doing here. Oh, Facebook's so slow. All right, as it posts that, I'll go back and I'll check out the chat and see what we got going on. Hey, there he is. Kip's in the house. Promo. Let's see who all I miss. Jeff, Aaron T, Andre, RVH. What's going on? Oh, Mark, what's going on? Oh man, yeah, what through your back out? That's terrible. I hate that. I mean, when you got that bad back, it can happen at any time. You can just, be picking a piece of paper up and your back will go out. So I know the feeling. I don't, I don't often throw my back out, but it's really no laughing matter. When you do, man, you're just out of commission. You can't even yawn without your back hurting. Okay, we already got super chat. Thank you. A quick question: if you're a sneakerhead, I recall some videos of you talking about sneakers, or make a quick comment. No, so I do like shoes. Okay, I'm not a sneakerhead though. My son, he's a big time sneakerhead, but I'm just kind of a simple guy. I do like shoes. I like Vans. I like Nike, Adidas, all that kind of stuff. But I'm into a bunch of the old dad shoes. But thanks for the super chat there. David Carter, what's going on? IoT. Relaxing for the evening, RVH. Bobby, what's up? Oh no. Let's see here. Picking a big subwoofer box up and felt it go. Wow. Yeah, I know, Jose, it has been a while since I've gone live, and I don't know. I just needed to get on here, do something for this, my little spin on 12 days of Christmas. And I figure I'd give it a second, get a few more people come in, then I'll kind of explain what I'm doing. It's going to be more of a vlog style, a chat style type of thing. So, it's going to be off the cuff, really. Let's see what else. Oh, here's a good question. So I will answer this question in a second. Let me see who all we got coming in here. Okay. So let me explain kind of what I'm doing first. Again, since we got more people in here, I'm kind of doing my little take. A lot of the 12 days of Christmas. That's kind of it started off as like a Christian holiday where they do starting on Christmas. You do 12 days of Christmas leading up. Uh, so and then it turned into a pop thing with a song, and it kind of just leaped into the culture. So I'm just doing kind of my little spin on 12 days leading up to Christmas, talking about cardio, live streaming, having fun. So that's what I'm doing. It's all going to be off the cuff. It's all going to be, not planned. We're just going to get in here and find topics as we go. There's going to be no defined time. I'm just going to try to squeeze in whenever I can. Uh, Hopefully, most of the time I'll be here at my desk, but sometimes, I may be on my phone. So who knows? Let's start answering some questions. Andre Mitchell asked, what and why dB overlap when setting amp gains? So dB overlap when you're setting your amp gains. If you set it 0, you're going right to clipping. You can set the overlap, and it just gives you a little bit of headroom. That's what you're doing there. You're going to allow yourself to clip a little bit, knowing that on your subwoofers, especially that the clipping can be handled by subwoofers and your subwoofer amps. So you really don't want to do that when you're setting up your mids and highs. You pretty much want to keep those below clipping, but with your sub specifically, give yourself a little room because sometimes you just want to crank it up, and it doesn't matter if it's clipping just a little bit. That's the easiest way I could think to explain that. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, Pastor Jack, what's going on? Good to see you here. Who else? Who else do we have? Scott Dog. New competition. 0.75 box with 2 subs max. I mean, you could build a sweet ISO setup on that. Jose Garcia, doing any Christmas giveaway? Maybe. I might do that. And then Mark asked, anybody got any stories about getting cool car audio gear for Christmas? I haven't got anything. Yo, Mike Lee, what's going on, my dude? Okay. David Carter's got a question. He says, since I'm running 2 amps and 2 subs, should I separate them? If you're running 1 amp on each sub, I probably would separate them, put them, if you're running sealed or even ported, just kind of divide the box, keep them separate. It'll save you a lot of headache. Oh, RVH, he got the Kicker 2400 and 2 of the 4004s. I watched those videos. Those amps are freaking sweet, man. I'm jealous. Very, very cool. Yo, Kip, what's going on? Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. Hey, bass head go boom, bass head go boom. I'm gonna send your amp out, man. I haven't sent it out yet. I'm gonna package it up tonight or tomorrow, and I'll get it out. I knew I said I'd get it out this week, but I'm slacking, man. Let's see. It says I have a quick new to car audio. I'm working on getting a 4th order bandpass for a single 12-inch that will be going into a hatchback. Yeah, 4th order bandpass. Awesome. Gives you a nice range you want to work it within. And they're fun to build. They're fun to play with, and I just like to have them. I think they sound pretty good within their given range. The guts of the 404s, 4004s are missing. I don't know if I've seen that one. Okay, so if you have any more questions, drop them in. But today I want to talk about just what came to my head as I was doing this live stream, setting it up. I was thinking coaxials versus component sets. Do you guys think about this? I mean, it's something I think about. I think about weird stuff like this. And are coaxials better? Or are component sets better? Is there such a thing as one or the other being better? I don't know what you guys think about this, but I think there's a maybe a common misconception that component sets are just better at all times, and that's not always true. Coaxial component or coaxial speakers sometimes can be good depending on the application. or they can be better depending on the application that you're using them for. For instance, if you're doing just a factory replacement type install and you don't really want to mess with the crossovers and the passives and all this stuff, and you're not going to run active, sometimes those are just easy to throw in and you're going to get your better sound right away. There also is like a coincidental coaxial where you can buy amp them. They typically have the tweeter inside the cone or behind the cone or sticking up, but they're bi-ampable, and those are very cool for point source type applications, especially if you're going to use them in kick panels or something like that. Um, but for me, I always lean towards component sets, and I don't know why that is. Aside the fact that I'm always going to try to run my speakers active, so the component set just kind of speaks to me in that. But I could certainly use, a set like the Morel. They're bi-ampable, and a matter of fact, they have to be bi-amp to be run. The 424s and the 626s, I believe it is. But I've heard those in some really nice setups. So to you guys, where do you lean? Are you coaxial type guys? Are you component set guys? Do you think one's better than the other? What do you think about coaxials and component sets? Does it matter to you, or you just use what's handy? Do you have a preference? Let me know in the comments, and we'll kind of discuss what your thoughts are on that as I look up to see what else you guys got going on. Oh, RVH. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, boy. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay, Mark asked, have I got a chance to play with the Dayton DSP 408? Heard there's a noise floor issue with them. I haven't even hooked mine up, man. I need to do that for sure. Uh, yeah, I don't got no excuse. No good excuse. I should have already played with it, but I haven't. I've been busy. Promo has coaxes. They sound great. Okay, here's a good question from Mike Lee. How about coax with external crossovers? You'll see I got a video coming out Monday or probably Tuesday. I'm using some coaxial speakers, and this is probably what came top of mind to me. The MB Quartz, the QM525, I think it was, but they have the tweeter permanently mounted into the grill, and they have passive crossovers. So maybe that's kind of what got my mind on this, but I do like those. Jeff says components sound better for a front stage, in my opinion. Yo, Eric Dudley, what's going on? Derek Carter says he says components, but has coaxials. That's for sure. Basehead go boom. He is running coaxials. Yep. Jeff likes coaxials for convenience and rear filler. That's for sure. And if you guys noticed, and my good buddy Mike, he's a audio listener of the podcast 12 Volt podcast, and he lets me know how many times I say for sure. It's like one of my main quirks, I guess, as far as speaking. And I have many speaking quirks, as you all may know. Okay, so Kip has a good comment here. He leans towards components typically because I use a higher end tweeter. I found that for sure. I said it again. I found that in many speakers that they use a higher end tweeter, but it's not always the case. Just like he says, it can definitely go the other way. So Aaron T has never tried component sets yet, as I have no experience with setting up crossovers and such in here. You should definitely check out some component sets, Aaron. Start off with the passives. If you don't want to go active, the passive crossovers that come with component sets typically are designed for those speakers and they work very well. And it's for a plug and play situation. Component sets with passives work very well, in my opinion. Let's see here. Uh, Coaxial versus component depends on the car and the difficulty of installing the components. Yeah, that can definitely be a factor. Okay. Mark says, he's partial to components, but have friends who have good luck with JL's coax. So those are some very nice coax as well. Components with a proper passive or full or active crossover, that's for sure. And that's something else that's cool. Uh, I talked about coaxes that can be by amp, but component sets, the higher end ones, a lot of times can be bi amped, and that's great because that allows you to still protect your tweeter with a capacitor through the passive crossover. That's something important that we don't always think about when you're running active. You typically want to run a cap or a capacitor on that tweeter just for protection, because when you're running a direct amp to your tweeter, you can have issues. It's not always going to be an issue at high volumes, though. You can certainly easily blow a tweeter if you're not careful. The capacitor is cheap insurance, so I always recommend putting a capacitor in line of a tweeter if you're not using a passive crossover and you're going active. So that's a little pro tip, or a big dummy tip, you might want to call it. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Bass head go boom. The kicker KSC coaxial here. Very nice. Oh, RVH, the Q series. Those are very, very nice. Okay, so what else do we have? If I've missed any of your questions, put them back in the chat. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions. So, we kind of talked about my topic quickly, coax versus components, just something to come in my head. But what are you guys' plans for Christmas? Are you gonna be off for Christmas? My work, we're typically off a week and a half, 2 weeks for Christmas where they're doing maintenance. So that's a good time for me to usually do these DIY car audio projects, or even time for me to catch up on my videos, or maybe even try to get ahead, although I never do. What are your guys' plans? You guys got anything coming up? You gonna do any big installs? You gonna, for those of you, I know some of you guys got your own channels. Are you gonna be doing your own content, or what's going on? Let me know. Let's see what you got. Okay. Eric Dudley just ordered an 80 PRS. Man, that thing is long in the tooth, I'll tell you. But I mean, there's no real reason to make new head units because you can't put them in a new car. So it's kind of, I don't know if I got notifications going on here. Sorry, fellas. All right. All right. We fixed that situation. But yeah, the 80 PRS, it's a pretty good head unit, but it has caused me many, many frustrations. But I also love it. So it's kind of a hate thing going on here. David Carter, how's Kyle doing? He's doing good, man. He's uh trying to skate by in school the best he can, I guess. Always yelling at him about that. But yeah, he's working at the pizza parlor, the job I worked at when I was 15 so I was around 18. So yeah, he's kind of following my footsteps there, trying to see what the working life's all about. Let's see. On my way to my second job. I'm feeling that, man. Christmas time, get you. Visiting family in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Oh, there you go, Kip. Blessed to get Christmas off the couple comp days, taking the whole week off. Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Oh, Mark's if you guys don't follow me on Facebook, or or Instagram or anything, I typically, if I see some deals or I see something interesting or cool, I try to post it up, just things I'm thinking about. If you want to see kind of like my day-to-day type stuff, check me out. It's Robert Hi-Fi Vega on Facebook or just Hi-Fi Vega. But if you really want to see like kind of behind the things I do, Robert Hi-Fi Vega on Facebook. I posted up a wire ferrule kit with the crimp, and I've seen plenty of videos. Mark uses them. Dean from Five Star uses them, and I was just thinking to myself, this might be something good for me because I typically probably wouldn't use them in a regular install because I'm swapping out. It's just not that often. I do swap out more than the average guy, but I just never thought to use it. But recently on my test bench, I was thinking, how can I get these these speaker wires to go in and out without having to strip them off and cut them and having them fray and all that stuff. So I checked out the wire ferrule kit and I rewatched some of the videos, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and order it. I'm gonna check it out and see if it helps me, hooking up speakers and hooking up power wire and that type of stuff. Because if you're testing, it's something you might not think about, but using this wire and putting it in and out of a terminal, you're having to cut it all the time and it uses up a lot of wire. And I try to use it the best I can, and you end up with a bunch of short pieces. It's just a nightmare. So I'd like to have just some pre-cut pieces, which when we visited Kicker, they use a lot of those Anderson style connectors, and I like that. I might steal that idea from them and just use those and just have pre-set up. I'll have my 8 gauge, my 4 gauge, my 1/0, whatever it may be, and just have it ready to go because I'm trying to refine my amp dyno process because it is a mess of wires. If you haven't tested things like that on a bench, you might not know, but it is a bit of a disaster. Let me see if I missed anything yet. Any of you guys heard of the Infinity Kappa Perfect 6.1? Most have love, no in between. I like the Kappa 6.1. I thought it was a nice sounding set. It was a little high when it first come out for what you got, I think, but for the prices you can find them now, they're pretty nice. RVH, I'll only be home for a couple days. Be doing unboxing of the Q series and list out my plan of attack to get the guitar done. Very nice. DIY audio guy. Hope to get a lot of filming. I get a week off. Yeah, man, those weeks off are very nice. They're fun. But, as like a content creator, it's also a little stressful because you're trying to this is maybe more than you guys would want to hear or even think about, but when you're a content creator, you want to maximize your time. You're always thinking of, what do I spend my time on? You're always wanting to capture everything you do related to your hobby or the channel that you're doing. So that can add a little stress. And recently, I've been doing projects without videoing it just because I don't want to get burned out. So when I'm doing a project for fun or something that I want to do, sometimes I'm not capturing video of that, and sometimes that's why I don't have enough video to put out a video that week. But I just don't want to get burned out, so I got to try to balance it out. And for those of you that do create content, you might understand what I'm talking about. What size ferrules and tech flex for 1/0 and 4 gauge? So, you know what? RVH, I'm not sure that I know. I think that they use 3/8 of an inch tech flex, and I think you could fit that on 4 or 1/0 because it's kind of stretchy. So let's see what else we got. Uh, David Carter says Facebook is the devil. It is, man. It certainly is, but it is a good way to connect. That's the one part about it. There is a lot of bad things about social media in general, but you also got to factor in the good things like, like basically, I mean, YouTube. YouTube is social media, and it's a very good way for us to connect. Facebook, if it's used correctly, I think it's the same way. And this is totally off topic, but when you're on Facebook, it's very, very, very easy to fall in the trap of being in your own, echo chamber. And if you just see something that aggravates you, and it's very easy to just reply to that and just, get yourself stressed out. What I've been trying to do myself is just, if you see something that aggravates you, just scroll past it. Trust me, it saves you so much time and heartache. Just scroll past it if you can. You can't always, sometimes something's going to get to you and you're just going to comment and, whatever happens will happen. But if you can, scroll by. Trust me, it helps. It helps a lot. Okay. Franco asked, when adding a second battery, do you need to install an isolator? I certainly would. I always do for one reason. If I'm installing a second battery, typically for me, it's because I want to play my stereo with the vehicle off. When you're doing that, you can drain that second battery completely down and it will not affect your starting battery. That's the most I've totally lost my train of thought. That's to me, that's why I would use it. A lot of people when they're using a second battery, it's because they're pulling an extreme strain on their system. In that case, they may not have or put an isolator in. But for me, I always put it in because you don't want to end up not being able to start your car one day, especially when it only costs you about $30 for a decent isolator. So I always put an isolator in my opinion. Yeah, filming can add extra layer of excitement to all the project, that's for sure. Let me see what else I missed. Pastor Jack has got the Hippo XL subwoofers coming in. I've wanted to try some of those. I want to try the 6.5. Um, Derek has the, I don't know if they're XL or the double XL 6.5s, and they actually look a little small, but I know they make a beefier version. I'd like to try those out. You guys know I like the 6.5-inch subwoofers, and I want to keep doing some more tests on those. I need a much better PC and editing skills. Oh man, that's, you know what? I don't even sweat all that editing. If the content is there, the editing is just, it doesn't have to be there, especially when you're starting out like us, like me. But yeah. And Derek got me turned on to editing on the iPad, and I'm telling you that is such a lifesaver as far as rendering time. I really, really recommend it. If you got an iPad, you should check out LumaFusion. Andre, Dino, the MTX. You know what? I might at some point. Right now, I'm pretty far behind on my dynos, so uh, at some point I might. So stuff like that, I don't mind doing. Taking in a dyno here and there. But when I get far behind, I try to make sure I clear everything I have before I start taking in new things. Okay, Aaron T, I'm on a break from university, but got my aunt some Scar Audio speakers for Christmas and gonna install them in her truck. Nice, that'll be fun. Matt Bowles, what's going on? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that stuff. Thank you. Let's see if I got anything else. Yo, Ziggy, what's up? My favorite JL subwoofer. Now, if favorite JL subwoofer in all of history would have to be the V1 version of the W6, specifically the 8 W6s in a trio. The first time I heard a trio of 8 W6s, I was absolutely blown away. I've heard the 12 W6s in a trio as well, and I mean, it was like audio nirvana having heard that setup, and I've always loved them since. Although the new W7s, absolutely love those, fantastic subs. But I just have a place in my heart for those old V1 W6s, or even the anniversary edition and the V2s. Thanks, Ziggy. Oh, how about some Rockville K9 6.5s? I'll definitely, I want to try those out because, matter of fact, I just put the K9 12s in the Suburban, and I've got them on the little Polk amp that I've had forever on 500 watts, and those things they're brutal, but that 500 watts is not even touching them. So I've got some bigger amps. I need to put something bigger on them and actually see what they can do, because those things get down on 500 watts, but you can tell that it's not even scratching the surface of what those subwoofers need to actually start getting good. It says, uh, Best Echo Boom says, way easier on the iPad, that's for sure. And then RVA says, no iPad kicker's getting all my money right now. That's for sure, man. I'm still jealous of the 2400. Yeah, Rockville CA rated, man. Faux show. Yeah, the MB Court Dyno, that amp, it's a fantastic looking amp. It's a great looking amp. I really dig it, the looks of it. And I mean, it didn't perform terribly. It almost met rated, which, it is what it is. It didn't meet rated. Uh it wasn't that far off. As far as you expected, a lot of times, they're more than halfway off. So it was pretty close. It sounded okay. Just kind of it was middle of the road. But I dig the look of it. So, it's kind of here and there. So, it was just one of those amps. And that was, if you guys didn't know, that was Bass Head Go Boom's amp. So yeah, and I mean, it's it's definitely, if you're playing this at moderate volumes, it's gonna sound pretty good, and you're not gonna load this thing down. When I had this thing bridged, all four channels bridged, and I was putting a sine wave to it. Yes, I could hear the power supply, the transformer inside of it. But are you gonna be running? Is Bass Head Go Boom going to be running a 1 kilohertz sine wave into a pure resistive load? I don't think so. So you're probably not going to run into those issues that I had. Yo, Mark Crowley, what's going on, man? Still running my V1 3 15W6s with PPI. Nice. I bet that sounds good. A single K910 on a Wolfram 2400. Wow. That's impressive, man. I bet that thing taking a beating. Rob, is there any advantage on running 0 gauge instead of 4 gauge on a Pioneer 520 amp? For sure. That amp performs very, very well. It draws some current. If you're gonna run some, is it a hearable difference? Is it an audible difference? I don't know about that, but you're definitely going to improve it by running 1/0 instead of 4 gauge. Depending on it, if you run short, if you're running like 2 foot or 1 foot of 4 gauge, you're probably not going to see much difference. But if you have a full run, like in your vehicle, if you're running from the battery back to the amp 4 gauge and you switch it from 4 gauge to 1/0, you're definitely going to notice a difference. Alpha Omega ask, do you think the extra ground from the alt to the frame is really worth it? Meaning that the alt is sitting on a ground. It is worth it. There is so many videos showing the advantages of that. It's 100% worth it. It's not 100% necessary though. But if you're really pulling loads through your system, if you're pulling 300 amps, 250 amps, it's definitely worth it. I mean, and what's it cost you? You know, $15 for a run of OFC one aught and some crimps to put on the end. Definitely worth it in my opinion. Yeah, that's for sure. The third party enclosures were a little bit off. At least it didn't fry like the big D. Hey, that ant didn't just fry, man. It caught fire. It was lit, literally lit. Okay. All right, guys. I was trying to keep these short. We're in about 45 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Or well, we're in 36 minutes. I can see right here. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate you guys stopping by, chatting it up for a little bit. I'll be back on tomorrow. I don't know what time. If you want to know, you can follow me on Facebook, Robert High Five Vega or High Five Vega. And if not, just check YouTube. Hopefully you'll get the notification. We all know how YouTube notifications go, so you may or may not get it. But yeah, the safest way, check me out on Facebook. I know a lot of people hate Facebook, so if not, wait for the YouTube notification. I'll catch you guys later.